Welcome everyone to our new video. Today, we're exploring an article published in Arab News titled Local Culture Vital to Effective Leadership in the Gulf, written by Dr. Turki Faisal Al-Rasheed. A little about him. Dr. Al-Rasheed is a Saudi businessman, academic, and writer. He is the founder and chairman of Golden Grass Inc., based in Riyadh, and serves as an adjunct professor at the College of Agriculture, Life Environmental Sciences at University of Arizona in the Department of Biosystems Engineering. His work spans sustainable agricultural development, economic and social commentary, and leadership in the Gulf context. Let's dive in!
So what's the real secret to great leadership? I mean, especially in a place as culturally rich and complex as the Arabian Peninsula. Well, we're diving into an article by Dr. Turki Faisal Al-Rasheed, and he argues that the answer isn't something you're going to find in a standard Western business textbook. Nope, it's about something much, much deeper. Let's get into it.
All right, let's just start with a really big question, right? Is there one single right way to lead? I mean, can you just take a leadership model, maybe one you learned about in a book, and just apply it anywhere in the world and expect it to work? Or is there something more to it? Something, deeper, something local, something cultural? That's the real key.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about this one-size-fits-all myth. It's this idea that Western leadership models should just, fit everywhere. But the thing is, they really don't always work.
And this whole idea, it has really deep historical roots. You got to look back to the legacy of colonialism. For centuries, Western powers basically imposed their own systems of governance all over the globe. And these models, they became super widespread, but they often just completely overlooked or even undervalued the unique local cultures and contexts on the ground.
And this right here, wow, it really lays out the two sides of the coin perfectly. A tale of two models. On one hand, you've got these imposed Western models. They're standardized, they tend to undervalue the local context, and they're really rooted in someone else's history. But then, on the other hand, you have these authentic Gulf models, and these are the complete opposite. They're super adaptive. They're woven together from the fabric of culture, religion, and tribe. They're rooted right there in local history.
All right, so if the Western way isn't the whole story, then what are the real foundations of Gulf leadership? What are these three pillars of power and influence? It's not about just importing some playbook from overseas. It's about deeply understanding and mastering the one that's already there.
And look, this isn't some static, unchanging idea. It has evolved so much over time. If you look back to the first Saudi state, leaders were focused on bringing together religion, tribe, and the economy. But then, fast forward to the 19th and early 20th centuries, and you see leaders like King Abdulaziz having to navigate massive geopolitical shifts, world wars, new alliances, you name it. And now, in our time, the focus has shifted again towards internal reform and strategic independence. You can see how each era demanded a totally different kind of strategic thinking.
At its heart, effective governance in this part of the world has always been defined by these three core pillars. It's all about a deep, almost instinctual understanding of what actually resonates with the people. And this isn't a new idea, not at all. It's a philosophy that goes back centuries, and it's captured just perfectly in this incredible quote we're about to see.
Here it is. The king remains by religion, and the tax is the pillar of the king. This comes from Ardashir, the founder of the Sasanian Empire. And what he's saying here is just so powerful, right? He's laying out the two classic foundations of authority. You need spiritual legitimacy, that's the religion part, and you need economic stability, represented by the tax. It's this ancient wisdom that points directly to the core pillars of leadership in the region today.
And so, here they are, those three pillars of governance. It's all built on this bedrock of religion, tribal affiliation, and, of course, economic growth. You can see how that ancient idea from Ardashir translates directly into this modern framework.
Okay, so now let's bring this into the modern era. Because these traditional pillars, they're now facing a massive new force, and that's globalization. This isn't just a small change. It's a huge pressure test, a modern challenge to this very local identity.
When we hear the word globalization, most of us think about economics, right? Trade, markets, technology connecting the world. But the article makes a key point. It's so much more than that. It's a massive cultural force. It's this incredible process of exchange and adaptation, but it can also lead to a kind of homogenization, where unique, local cultures can start to, blend together and lose what makes them distinct.
So what you end up with is this really high-stakes balancing act. The dual nature of globalization is clear. On one side, it's this amazing opportunity, right? It opens doors for cultural dialogue and exchange. But on the other side, there's a very real risk, the potential dilution of local culture, the very thing that has defined the region's identity for centuries.
And this isn't just some academic debate, this puts immense pressure on today's leaders. They have to figure out how to protect that cultural diversity and maintain their national integrity in a world that's more connected than ever before.
So, the big question is, how do you balance the past and the future? How do leaders even begin to navigate this? Well, the answer isn't to just shut the doors to the rest of the world. No, the path forward is something much more sophisticated. It's about a synthesis of the old and the new.
And this strategy for synthesis has a few crucial steps. First, you have to acknowledge historical learnings. You can't forget where you came from. Second, it's about cultivating local expertise, building up your own talent. Third, you adapt global best practices. And that word adapt is key. It's not about just copying and pasting. And finally, all throughout this, you have to actively protect that cultural identity.
And you know what? History actually gives us a great guide for this. Take King Abdulaziz, for example. He was totally receptive to foreign expertise, bringing help for things like agriculture. But, and this is the important part, he always made sure it was done on a foundation of mutual respect and cultural authenticity. It was about collaboration, not just becoming reliant on outsiders.
So, when you boil it all down, what's the one thing to remember? It's this one core principle.
And the principle is this: the strongest leadership models will always reflect the aspirations and values of the people they serve. So what does this all really mean? It shows that leadership isn't some simple formula you can just plug in. It's a living, breathing conversation, a conversation between a people's culture, their history, and their vision for the future.
And that really leaves us with a final big question to think about, a question that goes way beyond just the Gulf. How can any society anywhere in the world honor its past while it builds its future? Finding that balance? Well, that's a challenge every single community, every nation has to figure out for itself.
Thank you for watching our video. If you'd like more information, please visit our website at www.tfrasheed.org. The full link is available below.